You guys have been asking since quite a lot of time for an updated tour of the boat. So let's do it. This is a Voyage Maxim 380. So it's a 38-foot model, but the waterline is a little over 40 feet. That is because of the added length to the sugar scoops here, the transom. And I have 1800 watts of solar, which I recently put on more. The rack I had welded in St. Croix in the USVI. And yeah, it's 4x 450 watt panels. Where actually with 2 panels, just with 900 watts, I could get away with if I didn't like overdo it. And now like at 10:30 in the morning, my batteries are full. But that is in the Caribbean, because you know, the Caribbean there's always sun. But you know, when I leave the Caribbean across the Pacific, it's going to be different. Then the hardtop, which me and Rolf built. It's a massive rainwater catchment system, which is really awesome. The sail of the boat and the sail back, they're approximately a year and a half old. And one of the nice things I really like about this model, like it's 38 feet, and I originally was afraid that it would have been too small, but because some boats, they have a really difference between here and then the trampoline is a lot lower, and then it makes it look so much smaller. Like they really did a good job on proportioning on this boat. Okay, did I forget? Yeah, okay, so I have a brand new Low Friends 1500 watt windlass, and also brand new chain, which I both installed in Martinique. I didn't show the installation of the windlass just because things got kind of hectic with Sam Holmes arrived, and we did a whole bunch of trips together, so I left that out. Starlink, I have a aluminum dinghy with a roll-up floor, high field dinghy. If I would have done it again, I would have probably wanted a rib. This one is 2.80 m, and I think 3.10 m with a hard bottom is like the ideal length. It's not too wide for in between here, and it's a lot more comfortable when you're in any type of sea state. But you know, on the other boat I needed something that could roll up, so I have this one now. Sorry for the trash bag, I did some oil changes and everything this morning. And I have a 15 horsepower Yamaha Enduro engine. It's not on it now, I bought it 2 weeks ago. I'm still using this one. Yeah, so by the way, at the solar I used pipes instead of a system where the solar panels would fit in perfectly, because then the problem is if you ever want to buy other panels, you gotta find the exact same size, and that can be a bit difficult sometimes. Also, like, these are 4 panels of 40 inch wide, and they make a lot of that width, and also a 45 inch wide. But the problem on my boat is that if I would have done 45, here I can just stand and walk. Would I have made the rack as wide for 4x4 45 inch, then I would have bumped my head here. So I had to do well, in most European and the US, in the US it's easily available all sizes, but here in the Caribbean I had to do a bit of effort to get the 41 inch wide panels. Let's see what else. I don't know, like not really worth mentioning, but outside shower. And this is the cockpit. I think it's really nice space for still a fairly small catamaran. And last week I put new lights in the ceiling. Before continuing to the inside of the boat, first a big thanks to the sponsor of today's video. You guys have been saying for a very long time, when am I finally gonna do all those fun things that all the other YouTubers are already doing? Well, today's video is sponsored by Subloo Vapor's underwater scooter. I got it set up, GoPro, and it's in 3rd gear now. So 1, 2, 3, and if I press the front one, oh yeah, it's got a level indicator. It shows the battery percentage, even the heading temperature and how deep we are. I would love to try it out right here, but the water is super brown here, like zero visibility. So for the first time, I'm gonna have to try it out somewhere else. Today there's a special guest in the video. Try out the water scooter.
Subloo.
Which gear is it in? It's in one.
I want to try this thing. I'm a dolphin. Okay, my pants are falling off. I gotta pull my pants up. Look what I just found.
How is it?
It's great. I love it. It pulls you really hard. It's nice.
My turn. Vapor is available on the Subloo Shopify Amazon store, which I'll put in the video description. We had an absolute blast playing around with it here, and I cannot wait until I can use it on my future dives. That's cool. Ready?
Yeah.
Go! Wow! We're fast, little one. We're going fast. Yay!
You like it? What do you think about it? I think it's super cool.
I love it. I think it's great. I want one.
I think it's
I'm gonna contact these guys.
I haven't laughed like this in a very long time, so it must be really cool.
Subloo. These are dope.
Before going inside, in a little bit, I will also talk about what my personal opinion is about the size of the boat. And I've recently been looking at a lot of different boats with some homes. I've seen a lot of different ones, and I think I have a pretty good opinion about it. But let's go inside. It's pretty spacious. Got my gas stove, and well, let's go to the bedrooms first. This is where the damage was that we repaired after the hurricane. So there was a gigantic hole. That's all looking pretty good, I would say. And it's a 3-version cabin. So that means that it's an owner's version. So there's just more space. This is my bed. There's a lot of storage behind here. It's a mess, but yeah, you can see a lot of storage. There are surfboards and paddle boards, and there's a lot of cabinetry. Because it's an owner's version, there's a big toilet shower. And one thing I want to show you, I do not know if I have light enough here. Like one of the engines is here. Is there light enough? Yeah, I think so. Like, look at how incredibly good the engine looks like. And it's a 20-year-old engine. And it's one of the advantages when you buy an engine or when you buy a boat where there's no hatch outside. Like many boats have a hatch over here, which makes maintenance really a lot easier. So there's really a lot of advantages. The disadvantage is water comes always in. And after like 5 years, there's already rust on top of the engine often, what I've seen at least. And these engines look incredibly well for them being 20 years old. Okay, let's go to the other room. Like here, the small bedroom is here. And here the engine is under the bed. It's a 30 horsepower Yanmar engine, and here's a 12 kilowatt generator. I honestly have used the generator 3 times. I've used it 3 times to run it for 5 minutes just because I want to make sure it keeps going, but I have never actually needed it. Then again, I think when I go out of the Caribbean, it's probably really nice to have. I have air conditioning, which runs on the generator, but I don't know, I've never needed it. A window open was enough. This is the other bathroom and the other big bed. Yeah, with the same storage space under it, and on the both beds are big storage spaces under it too. And actually, I forgot to show one thing on the other side, which is the water maker. It's a 50-gallon-an-hour water maker. And that is actually the only thing that's broken on the boat. I broke it, I did something wrong, and I cannot get it to work, so that's something for another video. And this is the living area. I am 6'1", and I would say that I can stand up until here. And after that, here, well, here you're doing dishes, you have to bend anyway. But yeah, I would say for any person longer than 6'1", it's probably getting a bit small. Kitchen. There is a dual fridge. This both is fridge. And this is a freezer. I put their brand new. They're under here. Two brand new. They're there. Just put them in about a month ago. Have simple coffee machine, air fryer, toaster, and TV, seating area. This can also fold out to a bed. I do think that round couches are a bit of a dumb design. Like if I want to watch TV, I'm either sitting like this, bent to the left, or I'm sitting like this because I cannot sit straight because then my feet fall down. So what I usually do is I just pile up a bunch of cushions here and I can sit in an angle like this. I have thought about making it straight. I've thought about just cutting it out and then making it in a corner instead of round. But the freezer starts here, so it's more complicated as it looks like. Then here under the couch I have two Victron 150/70 charge controllers, one for 2 panels each. And then here I have the 80 amp battery charger that I can charge the batteries with the generator. And then I have 600 amp lithium batteries under here. I have 4 inverters, a boat inverter which is 230 volts, which is 3000 watts. This is the normal built-in Zentrax one. I have a 110 volt Zentrax, which is 1500 watts to run the 110 volt power tools. And I have a 250 watt Victron, which is for the Starlink. So I didn't want to have the Starlink running off a big inverter because big inverters use more electricity. And then I have an extra tiny inverter that I just use for charging the laptop. And here we have the inside radar screen. There's still an SSB radio on the boat and my battery status. My guess is you're watching this video because either you want to see an updated tour of the boat, or maybe you're interested yourself in buying a boat like this. First of all, I'd like to explain why I have been wanting a catamaran for so long. It is because I cruised on like 8 different boats, and I always felt like I was always living below deck with little windows, and didn't matter how big the boat was, I was always living below. And I work a lot on the computer, making videos or just like doing planning for trips, and I spend a lot of time actually on the boat. Like I noticed on the other boat how incredible much time I just was on the boat, because you can't just walk away for 5 minutes. It requires taking the dinghy and go somewhere. So I really wanted to live up, just windows, just sitting on the computer, and just while sitting on the computer having a view. This is Puerto Rico, by the way, around me and there. And when it's raining, then I still wanted to just sit inside and actually be able to see where I am, because that's what, you know, that's what this lifestyle is for me about, that, you know, I actually enjoy all the time where I am. A good question is, would I recommend this boat also to others? First of all, I am extremely happy with the boat. I'm surprised on how fast it is and how spacious it is. I thought that a 38 footer would be slower and less comfortable. That being said, I'm 6'1" and I'm really at the max for this boat. Like the beds are getting, I could have a few inches more, and also standing room at some points. So if you're actually looking for boats, then this boat, like I would say, if people look for these type of boats, they usually look for between 150 and $250,000, and then these boats are for sale on the low end in a difficult location in an okay condition for 150, in a really good condition for 200. But then for 200, you can also buy, and I know this because I've been looking at a lot of boats together with Sam Holmes, who was also looking for a catamaran. You can also buy a Leopard 45, which is same building year. This is 2003. Those are also built, I think, between 98 and 2008. And they're like the blown up version from this boat. And what you get on like a Leopard 45 is you get more space, where it also depends on what you want to do with the boat. Like this boat, I can do a charter with this boat, and I'm also probably will do, but it probably means I'm gonna sleep in the small bed over there, and then I can have maximum 2 couples, and that will work. There's enough space for this. This is made as a charter boat, but it's still like it would be a little bit packed, you know. I personally think this is an ideal boat for a couple with like 1 child. And another thing is that here, if you look, it's all so beautifully squeezed in, like everything fits perfectly. But on a Leopard 45, there's just a little bit more room, so that you could get a 230 110 volt fridge, a house fridge. Like the fridge and freezer that I just showed you, my fridge was nearly $2,000. And my freezer was a little cheaper. It's because of the elements that's actually inside the freezer and the fridge, because the other 2 modules are the same. So the fridge needed a different one because it's bigger. It's 2 cabinets and the freezer is 1. So that was like, one was 2,000, the other one was like 1,100. And if the boat's a little bigger, funny enough, in a way you'd save money on certain things, because a house fridge would be like $300. And yeah, they break faster, but you know, they're also like 5 times as cheap. So yeah, the other thing is that I have quite a bit of electrical appliances, but still fairly limited. You know, I have my bread toaster, I have a coffee machine and air fryer, but if you want to add ice cube machine and a whole bunch of other electrical devices to grow plants, it's getting quite limited on space. Because yeah, there is space over there, but there's the freezer, and then you need some space to put your dishes. So then like a Leopard 45 would definitely have more space for that and still be in a similar price range. But then of course, it being a 45, you get bigger rigging and bigger sails, and then maintenance wise this boat will be a lot cheaper. And yeah, like I say, performance wise, I didn't expect it to be that comfortable and fast. Comfortable, yes, but like I'm easily doing 7-8 knots when there is decent wind, at least. Downwind, I'm pretty slow, but that's most catamarans apparently. So I will add a light sail for that. In the nearby future, I'm going to add a bowsprit, and then a extra furler for a light sail for downwind sailing. One downside of this boat, and many boats I built like around 20 years old, is that it is quite low to the water. So at certain types of waves, it does slam a little. And the other thing is, balsa core. They build a lot of these boats with balsa core, and that's how they used to do it. Many of them seem to be switching to PVC core and balsa core, which is a sort of wood. Like eventually, if you have the boat long enough, there are places that will find some water in it, and then the repair is quite big. I've noticed that while we were doing the fiberglass repairs on this boat. So that's one thing I say, ideally ever in any catamaran, I would prefer PVC core like the Vinicel. A couple of things that I really enjoy on this boat is that, and it's on any catamaran the same, is the amount of space you just have to like chill outside. But most of all, not rolling anymore. Like, just, I remember when I had a monohull, I had to pay so much attention to where I would go and find places where it wouldn't roll. And like, I've never had a bad night's sleep on this boat. So that, yeah, that's definitely one of the highlights for me. Then also, the other thing is that some people like the sailing of a catamaran and other people like it less. I can only speak for myself. I really enjoyed the heeling over in the first year of sailing, and I still really enjoy it when I join other people's boats, and especially a long distance. A long distance being heeled over is just quite uncomfortable. Yeah. So I'm sure that a monohull is a better technical sailboat than a catamaran, but I personally enjoy this a lot more. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. I am really happy because after fixing her up after hurricane and still needed to do a bunch of things after that, this is the first moment where I can actually say I am done. I mean, you're never done with a boat, right? Like, there's always things that break, but I am done doing all that, and now it's just general maintenance and upgrades. So yeah, I'm very excited for what is to come. Also, I want to do a big shout out and thank you to all of my patrons. It's really because of all of you guys that I can make these videos. The upper tier patrons are on the wall of the boat, so thank you very much. And I hopefully will see you in the next video. And yeah, if you do have any other questions, write them in the comments.